Hi, and welcome to this video. My name is Janis, and I want to share with you some super cool Pigments feature that is particularly great for live performance if you create some hybrid setups where you want to use one single trigger for playing full melodies. So I want to share with you how this looks like in my particular case. So I'm a drummer, and I want to assign a note to my kick drum. But every time I play the kick drum, it moves to a next note. So I have, for example, like some 4-note melody. And with Pigments, you can do that. And now inside Ableton, I enable my Pigments track. I have it on a drum rack, and you will see in a second why. And now just check out the note that comes when I play the kick drum. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, and now it goes back to the first one. So that's like my 4-note melody, and this is so cool because you can control the moment where you trigger it. So you're not restricted to a MIDI grid. You don't have to follow some structure of, okay, 2 bars of this note, 2 bars of this note. You can be completely free and even play without a click track. So here's some example of that. And it doesn't need to be a drum kit. You can also use a MIDI keyboard and assign, for example, one note to Pigments, as you see here, my lowest C, and play something melodic with the other part of the keyboard. So especially if you don't have so much space, or maybe you're a little limited in terms of playing technique, you can simply press one key for changing the main harmony or bass tone and play something else with your right hand. So how does it work? Inside Pigments, you have some random modulators, and I absolutely love them because they are super powerful. I used random 3. You can see it's set to voice modulator, so that's the setting we need to choose, because here you can create some sequence that sends different pitch can send pitch information, or actually it sends a modulation value, and then you can match it to some pitches that you set here with the chorus setting. So that's the other one you need to understand. At the upper left side of any sound, you have the chorus setting, and this one you need to modulate. So you basically create a sequence, and let's actually reset it and do it from scratch. So now you see we always trigger the same note. For assigning random 3 to the chorus, you need to go to the modulator, click assign, and once you move to chorus, you see this purple light flashing up, and then you can click and either move to the right or to the left, so that's the modulation direction. We want to go up in this case, and I think I had it on 27, but this value is not only important, it also matters where you put the individual voices. So just as an example, if I click randomize, we will now get 4 random tones. Which can be fun, but they are also completely randomized based on 12 notes of a chromatic scale. And some super useful feature here is the quantize function, because here you can quantize the chorus to just a few notes. In my case, I was actually using like the flat 2, the minor 3, so the minor 3rd, which is like a minor tonality color, the 5th, and also the flat 7th. And by the way, if you feel like confused by the descriptions of notes and feel like you need some basic knowledge about music theory, be known that I have a mini course on my website. I'm going to link it down below in the description. And now our randomized melodies will always be based on that scale. So we have less tones to choose from, and I mean, you can use the randomize function. It's quite fun. I was doing it myself, so you basically bring them all down to the same pitch, and then you see, yeah, that was my second one. At what position it actually matches the note that you want to trigger. Yeah, that's it. So you just need to drag and drop a little until you have the melody that you want to trigger. And the cycle mode is also important because that's the one that actually starts the cycle and continues with the next note. Reassign always goes back to the beginning once you trigger the sequence. And you also have random, which is another interesting setting. So it still uses the pitches that you choose, but it randomizes them. So let's actually play a little with the random setting. So it's really random. If you want to create some more controlled randomness, you could also change this to some 8-note melody and simply create more tones for the note that you want to have more often. So if you want to have the root note more often, you could move 2 additional ones to the root note, because then you have actually a higher chance that this one will be triggered. And actually, I was missing the highest note. It didn't get triggered so often. So we could use a setting like this. By the way, in case you enjoy this video and also feel like supporting the channel, you can take a quick second to hit the like button. And if you feel like this information is something that more people should actually see, you can also hype the video, which really helps to share this video with some more people. It's already too random for my taste, but I think it can also be fun because you also have to respond to the tone that comes. Sometimes I feel like, where's the root note, and then it doesn't appear, so you play more kick drums until it's finally there. So can be interesting, just as some inspiration. You also see that I was using 2 sounds at the same time. This is not about sound design. I have more videos about this on my channel. There's some Pigments playlist. I'm going to link it down below in the description. But you see, I have one bass sound and also one wavetable pad kind of sound, and both are controlled with this controlled randomness. So this one is also assigned to engine 2 cores. So that's the great thing about Pigments. You can set up a patch where you have both like a bass sound and a pad sound. Now you possibly run into the next issue, which is that your instrument sends MIDI with all pads. Or if you have a keyboard, it also sends MIDI from all keys. So it sounds really messy. Actually, it has some quality that I like. It sounds really chaotic, but there's something about it. But yeah, it doesn't really help us here. And inside Ableton, there's a simple trick that I like to use, which is to use a drum rack. So under drums, you find a drum rack. And you have to first copy your sounds, because otherwise it's going to replace Pigments. So I copy them, take them away, create a drum rack, and then you only put the sound on the pad that you want to use. So you can play it. You see RC1 is actually the kick drum. So here I'm going to put my sound, and then it only listens to the kick drum. All other notes will be ignored because there's simply no sound. And you can do the same if you use another controller like a keyboard. So in this case, the lowest C is triggering this note, but all other ones get actually ignored. So you can set up another track with another sound. So let's just create a MIDI track with, I don't know, we can just use any other Pigments preset. So now we have our drum rack that only responds to the lowest C, and also a track that still responds to all notes. So if we play the lowest C, we also trigger it. Actually, if we arm both, we have sound from both tracks. And now what you can do is that you create some instrument racks. So you press Command G, open the menu and go to key. And there you can actually set the range where it responds or listens to MIDI keys. And the lowest one is now the C#1. So it basically ignores the C, the lowest C that we only play with our drum rack. So here we can, with one note, then change to the next color or the next kind of tonality or chord whenever we want to, and play freely with the right hand. Now, let me share one more setting with you that I find super musical if you set up a patch like this, because velocity is a big thing. You don't want the patch to be kind of all the time exactly the same, no matter how you play. Especially for drumming, I think it makes a big difference. So I'm gonna reduce the velocity reaction for now and show you what I mean. So you can see it's super static. If I play softly on the drum kit, which actually sounds really nice, the sound doesn't react at all. And I don't know, I feel like this is a very uninspiring sound. So what you can do, or what I also did, is that usually I bring down the filters. So I assign some envelope that then creates the intensity, or that kind of defines the intensity of the filter based on velocity. So here you can see envelope 2, for example, is this one. It's like a filter envelope for this bass sound, and filter 2 is basically like a filter envelope for this pad sound. And the intensity is controlled through velocity. So you see it's sidechained. Here you always have like a sidechain setting where you can say the velocity controls the filter intensity. So now if I play softly, it's a more muffled sound, while it completely opens up when I play with a higher velocity. And it feels way more musical this way, because the synth responds to my playing, and it's a bit like playing like a duo with your synthesizer. And as you can see, I really enjoy combining drumming with electronic music, because I think you get some really interesting sounds and also interesting rhythms, because you never play perfectly, there's some human touch to it. And I just recommend it to everybody to play around with electronic drums, even if you're new to it, because you can get like a small drum pad, which I also have, like the Nord drum, for example. And I have some content about it. I'm going to link you some in the description. And also be known that I made a full album based on drumming techniques. So with my Nord drum, I actually created 50 small songs, and I just used live drumming for recording all those pieces in like one take. I'm going to link it down below in the description as well. You're warmly invited to listen to it. And if you want to learn it yourself, there's also a class connected to it. So yeah, drumming and electronic music are just two things that I absolutely love to combine. And if you're also interested in exploring, just check out those links. And there's a video where I share this approach of creating 50 songs, but I share it with my small MIDI controller, and you can check it out here. Otherwise, here's my playlist with all my Pigments videos, so you can get some deeper into sound design. And apart from that, I wish you lots of inspiration with whatever it is that you create, and really hope to see you soon again at this channel. Bye.